Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our very first ever Thursday evening Delta Week call. My name's Justin Wilson. I'm the Senior Vice President of Sales for ASEA, and I'm super glad to be on the call here with you tonight with some of my friends and associates. Guys, this is a very exciting call for us. It's the first time that we've done a call like this from ASEA, and we're really excited to share this with all of our guests on the call tonight. For those of you joining us for the first time and maybe haven't heard yet of Delta Week is something that we do one time a month, the first full week of every month, which gives you an opportunity to really get a window into ASEA. On Tuesday night, you get the opportunity to learn about ASEA's incredible products and what they can do for you. Maybe some of you heard some of our speakers this Tuesday night. It was a wonderful call. Then on Wednesday evening, you have the opportunity to hear from our founder, Tyler Norton. You hear the story of ASEA, where ASEA came from and why we are here. It's a wonderful call that really gives you a window into the founders of this great company. Tonight's call is actually designed and set aside to share with you a little bit of the opportunity of ASEA and what that opportunity can mean for you. A little bit of my background. I've been in the network marketing world now for over 20 years. I say officially because honestly, I've been in network marketing my entire life. I was born into network marketing. My father was a full-time network marketer my whole life, which was very interesting because my father was a cowboy, you know, a real live American cowboy that grew up in a small town of 500 people. Someone one day introduced to him some natural health products that absolutely made an enormous difference in his life. And for my dad, that was very simple. You know, as a cowboy, for him, if someone helps you, it's your job to go out and help someone else. And so he simply began telling his story, and out of that created an over 40-year legacy that has continued to be a wonderful blessing and benefit for our family over the years. As a young boy, I wasn't sure that I really loved network marketing or that I really understood it. But as I watched my father and as I learned about this great industry, I learned what it can really be and how it can really make a difference not only in your life, but in the lives of many, many others. In December of 2008, I was introduced to this great company, ASEA, and I was able to meet Vertus Norton and Tyler Norton, the founders of this great company. And I'll tell you, what I found was something that was very, very different. Products that I had never seen before that really make an impact in people's lives and can really make a difference. But also a business opportunity that really gives anyone, no matter where you are today, the opportunity to do something very, very special for you and your family. Tonight on the call, we have a couple of our wonderful associates to share with you their stories of how they became involved with ASEA and what that has meant for them in their lives. Our first speaker tonight is named Sylvie Wilmot. She's a silver executive with ASEA, and we'd love for her to take a few minutes and just share with you her story. Sylvia, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Sylvia, we can hear you great. Fantastic. Thanks for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. Definitely the first week of this great new challenge we are having. So thank you for having me. My story pretty much been in network marketing in the past and was definitely not interested to be invited to any new opportunity. And when actually Barbara Albert called me telling me I had to look at it, I almost hang up on her. And really, it was, you know, sometimes you feel like there is something, what if? What if it was the thing? We all looking, I don't know, you know, you look at some movie like Joy, you know, why can I not come with this incredible machine who I can make millions of dollars? Why I cannot come with this idea? And so in the same time I was saying no, I was thinking, what if? And so I decided to do my homework, to do my due diligence, to do my research really. And I agreed to try the product for 6 months. I say, listen, I have nothing to lose, or some money if it doesn't work. And to be honest with you, I was hoping it didn't work, because I knew if it worked, I was going to want to share it. And I didn't want to do that. And after 5 months to be exact, I had some amazing results with the product. And at this point, it was difficult for me not to tell other women. I mean, first it was women I was addressing, because as a woman, even my name is Terry Latin right now, I was, how could I say, I realized we feel empty. I'm 54 years old, and I was losing my little spark and my energy. And ASEA gave that back to me. This idea that I can do anything. And actually ASEA proved me that I was wrong about me believing that network marketing was not for me. Because I've been growing, and I personally grow. My personal development, I think, has been, I surprise myself actually from time to time. It's been an incredible journey, and the journey is just starting. And often, people will say, do you have a vision of the future? And all the time I say, it's too complicated. I will look here. And now I see where I want to be, and I see myself where I'm going to be. And let me tell you, it feel alive. I feel so much alive. And I'm really hoping a lot of people can experience what I've been able to experience. So I'm very thankful.
Sylvie, thanks so much for sharing that story with us. I wonder if you could tell everyone, if someone's just getting started today in building their ASEA business, what advice would you give them?
Don't try to reinvent the wheel, which I tried to do at the beginning. Decide to be a student. Agree to be a student. Agree to do your homework. Write a list. We all there say, oh, I know a bunch of people. Yeah, but you forget. If you put them, and people used to tell me, do a list, and I would say, oh, forget it. They all say the same thing. Yes, write your list. Write a list. Pick up the people you think will be there to hear you. And the beauty, don't be afraid. You're not going to die. Nothing's going to happen to you. You may get some no. Some people who tell no, thank you, I'm not interested, and hang up the phone on you. But it's okay, because you don't want to talk to those people anyway. So I will tell people, just jump in the water, have fun. There is no danger.
Very cool. One last question before I let you go, Sylvie, is what do you love most about building your business, building your ASEA business in network marketing?
The possibilities. My husband is in construction. I realized arriving at 50 years old that if tomorrow something happened to him, we have a very successful construction. But if something happened tomorrow to him, I have no business. I cannot run his business. Retirement, when we were supposed to put money on the side, we didn't make enough money. And now we could put money on the side. What for? And which means that by the time we're going to stop working, we won't have the same quality of life we are having right now. And because I'm in my 50s, I stay home raising our children and doing the bookkeeping. I cannot find a job. Yes, I can find a job at $12 an hour. It costs my husband more money to send an employee to pick up something. So I cannot find a job who will pay me what I'm worth. And this is actually what I'm going to receive. It's going to compensate what I'm putting in. So actually at the beginning, I'm going to tell everybody, it's tough. It's not easy. But there is this motivation, this thing. It's like you I don't know how to explain. Maybe it will be easier in French, but there is an excitement that you know the possibilities, and I will tell everybody, don't be afraid. Just you're going to make mistake, and it's okay. Just it makes you grow. It makes you be alive, have energy, and having a passion in life and a purpose. This is very important. As we get older, my purpose was my children and of course my husband, but to find something bigger than you, something who can have an impact on it's leaving a legacy to your children and your family.
Sylvie, thank you so much. We certainly appreciate you joining us on the call. We can certainly feel your enthusiasm, and it certainly makes us as excited about the business as well. So thanks for joining us.
You're welcome. Now, thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sylvie. We also have with us tonight one of our gold executives, John Bash. So I'm going to turn the time over to John to tell a little bit of his story. John, are you there? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can. I can hear you just fine.
Fantastic. Go ahead. We've got you here by phone. Thanks for joining us.
Well, good. My story, it's kind of like a who you are, what you're famous for scenario. Yeah, you know, I've got about 30 years in the network marketing industry, mixed in with some general marketing in the world of real estate and a few other things. But you know, first of all, I'll take it back. I began in network marketing at 20 years old. It was an interesting time because growing up, my family was what would be considered middle class back in the day. Today it might not be middle class, but back then it was. There was steak at the beginning of the month, hamburger helper at the end of the month, and my parents, you know, they from time to time had to, you know, hold off paying one bill to pay another and that type of thing. And then every summer we'd go up to the Pacific Northwest, and my mother's side of the family, my uncle was living in a world of opulence. He was the owner of a chain of supermarkets up through Spokane and into Idaho and Montana. And they had a beautiful home in the city of Spokane, and they had purchased the lake property home in Hayden Lake, Idaho from Bing Crosby. So it was just you know, every summer we'd go up there and I'd see that, and then I'd go back home and see what my parents had and the struggles they had, and I knew I had to do something different. My family, you know, wanted me, some of them wanted me to be a lawyer, some wanted me to be a doctor. None of those were resonating with me, and we came home from a vacation one year, and I was 19 turning 20, and a friend of mine told me about an opportunity meeting I needed to go to, so I went to that, and felt like that's where I needed to be. And so I spent another couple semesters in college and just said, you know what, this is not getting it done, and I'm not going in the direction I need to go. So I went full steam with this network marketing company, and literally within 2 years, I was a top earner, and at 22 years old, I was driving a Rolls Royce, so life was pretty good. I was living large, but I was young, dumb, and stupid enough to follow what my upline told me to do. You know, I didn't know any better. I just said, I want to be like these folks. I want to be like my uncle. I want to succeed, and I'm willing to do what I have to do. And they said, here's what you do. And I went and did it. But after a while, I felt like I knew what I was doing and tried to do things on my own, and things didn't go quite as well. But, you know, it kept going. And then for a while, I said, you know what, I don't want to do network marketing anymore. And I got out of it for a few years, and then jumped back in. And I've been in probably 8 or 9 different companies in my lifetime, 3 of which would be considered home runs. And, you know, the last one, where I met Ed Weens. Ed was the person who introduced me to, of course, to ASEA. I had met him in a prior company together that we were both in over the last, let's see, I've been with ASEA now just at a year. And it was 3 years prior to that. We had what we thought was going to be the final opportunity of a lifetime, that the management went sideways on us. And Ed asked me to attend a fly-in in October of 2014, which I did. Had a chance to sit and talk with Vertus Norton and take the tour of the facility. Went home with some product, a copy of the book Redox Life, and I was pretty impressed with what I'd seen. Although I was kind of fighting the idea, I didn't really completely understand what ASEA was. I was thinking it was another nutritional supplement. So, and I still had a lot of responsibility with that other company. I was getting 300 plus people every Saturday on a training call, and I couldn't just bail on those folks because I felt the obligation to help them grow and learn. So things went along until I think it was April of 2015 when Ed said, "Listen, you're kind of a fly on the wall. Why don't you come to the convention in Salt Lake? I'll get you a ticket. Be a fly on the wall, sit at the back of the room." And so one of the things I did there is I tried to meet as many people. I've always trained people to do this. I met as many people as I possibly could. I asked them, why are you here? What's your story? And I heard some obviously amazing stories, and I was really impressed with that. But the two things that kind of pushed me over was, number one was the EMP bonus, because in all the years I've been in this industry, there'd never been that type of a bonus for the mid-level people. In my prior company, I had part of a global bonus pool, but I had to get to the top to get that. And I knew that would have a tremendous impact on the growth of the company. So I was impressed with that. But the thing that really pushed me over the top, I think, was Tyler Norton's closing remarks for last year's convention, not the most recent one. And although the most recent was just as powerful. But, when I came home from that trip, my better half said to me, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "I've got to find a way." And I made the decision I was going to do it. And at the end of June, the doors opened up on the other company. I got a call from a leader saying, hey, they wanted my time slot, wanted me to participate maybe every 4 or 5 weeks. And I thought, man, that's a great time to get out of that scenario. And so I said, okay. And they actually never put that call together. But it did get me out of that. I was able to go full-time in ASEA the first week of July of last year. And it's just been, the best way I can describe ASEA so far is like being lost in the desert for 40 years and then finding your way home. Truly has been an amazing, amazing company. And not just in the compensation plan and the product and the whatnot, the people that are involved. From top to bottom of the corporate side, everybody has been there to support the folks in the field, literally like nothing I've ever seen. Most companies, if conventions, they get up and tell us we got great products, now get out and sell them. Whereas the ASEA's position has always been, hey, what can we do for you? How can we help you? How can we help you grow? There's been some errors that have been made that have been my fault that the company has fixed for me, where other companies would have said, hey, too bad, sorry, see you tomorrow. So it's just been an amazing journey so far. And while I'm a gold and I'm knocking on the doors of platinum, the bottom line here is they're all just steps in the process. I intend to be triple diamond by next convention, and then later that year get to the ambassador triple diamond level. So it's full speed ahead for me.
Hey, John, that's fantastic. We certainly appreciate you joining us on the call tonight. We know you're traveling, and it's been wonderful to hear your story and your plans for the future. So thanks again.
No problem, my friend. Thank you so much for having me.
Take care, John. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
So our last speaker tonight, certainly not least, is a good friend of mine that I've come to know over the last couple of years here with us at ASEA. Terry Latham is a triple diamond executive with ASEA. And so we'd love for him to close off and share with you his story here tonight on the call. Terry, are you with us? Terry, I think you're still on mute there. If you want to go ahead and...
I'm here. Now can you hear me?
There we go. Thanks, Terry.
Well, the good thing is about network marketing, you don't have to be too bright to build it. So sorry you couldn't hear me there. But, I was thinking about it. I really love that gold curtain behind you. I think that's pretty cool. little bit about me and my story. I absolutely love the means of distribution being network, because for what it can do for families, what it can do for people. And I've been in this industry for 15 years, 12 years have been full time. And I want to say this before I get full into my story. You're hearing people that have had experience before in this industry. It's kind of like if you got involved in real estate or any other kind of career. If you go somewhere to get started, you start somewhere. Sometimes you go into places of business that people have a little bit more experience, and it doesn't mean they're always going to be ahead of you, but you got to start somewhere. So I want to share a little bit of my background. Got involved in network marketing 15 years ago. The people that approached me before about this type of business before, I never really liked it because they never kind of spoke to me in truth, as I felt. They always spoke like it was a pipe dream. And when my dad approached me at the company, I decided to get in, got in that company. Nothing happened very fast for me. I worked it very hard, and I didn't mess around. But eventually, like I said, had enough success to go full time in it. And before, in my career before this, I was part owner of a software company, and I was really looking for more time. That company made some decisions, and like any company sometimes do, and they just didn't align with where I wanted to go. And I started to look for different companies out there, and I found that there's a lot of different things out there, a lot of different opportunities, but there was only one ASEA. And when I first saw this company, it was salt water from Salt Lake City. And I kind of say that in jest because I think it sometimes you kind of laugh because I tell you, I knew about ASEA 3 years before getting involved. And I only knew it was salt water from Salt Lake City. Now, I didn't think too deep into it, but I know enough about this industry to know that there had to be something about it. There's people making money. They're doing a lot of sales. They can't be that good or somebody be hurt. There's got to be something behind this technology. So I did our due diligence, decided to get involved. And this is something that really appealed to me. I had a chance to look at a few companies. I did not want to be a part of a company that dealt with, let's say, I didn't want to get involved in a company that had competing technology or products and say, mine's better than yours because X, Y, Z have a special X in it. And what I liked about ASEA, it's the story that has not been told yet. I remember when I first went to go meet with one of our upline. At that time, they made $100,000 for that month, and which was really cool. And I'd already made my decision to be a part of it. But I went to go meet with him and his family, and I drove up to his house. He was leasing a house. The house was a modest home, say I guess around $230,000 home. He had a used XC90 in the driveway, Volvo. Let's say a 2005 and like a 2006 Honda Pilot. Now, the reason I tell you this. What excited me about that, there was no smoke and mirrors. With this company, you could be real. And that, guys, I got to tell you, that really got my fire lit. I knew we were in front of something big, but I also knew we had the right leadership that was not going to tell people to go in debt like you heard John Bash talk about before. These are people that are very concerned about your future. I loved when I went to go meet with the founders. I knew when I left meeting with the founders right off the bat, I knew that these are people that I wanted my kids to associate with. Well, we've had success in the industry. We are triple diamonds in this company. I want to share something with you that I think would resonate with most. At least it resonates for myself. So I'm the father of 3 children. They're 13, 10, and 8, and they're at camp right now. I was telling Justin right before the call that our children are on camp for the first time, all 3 together in a Christian camp. And I think the people having the biggest withdrawals happen to be their mother and myself. But, it's kind of cool to be able to afford to do this kind of stuff because we found ourselves, I don't know if you ever found yourself in times where you couldn't do that, but it's kind of cool to be able to do things that what you feel to be right. You don't have to worry about the money aspect. Network marketing for me is more about the time. Money is just, if you, in the beginning, it's kind of like you worry about the bills coming in or you think about the money. A lot in the beginning in this business, I started thinking a lot about the money. Don't think about it as much anymore as I did in the beginning. I remember it was 2 years ago. Let me see. It might have been last year during the summer. My oldest, I'm sorry, it was 2 years ago. My oldest came to me. It's like July. And he said, Dad, does ASEA assign you people? And I said, no, son, they don't assign us people. Now, my son's 11 years old. I don't know about yourself. If you were ever asked growing up, what does your dad do? Because you really answer it. And a lot of times I found I could never really answer what my dad did, but he provided a great life for himself. So I thought about that a lot because, you know, in this industry, we really serve people. We help people through physically and financially in both areas, but we really serve the people. So the next morning I woke up and I asked my wife, I said, you mind if I take Cade, my oldest, on a road trip? She goes, no. I said, I'm going to be gone for about a week. And she said, that's okay. And I asked my son, I said, would you like to go on a road trip? He said, yes, Dad, I would love to. So I put him in the car, and I documented this on Facebook. A lot of people kind of followed this, but I put him in the car. He was really, really excited because we're going out of state. Took a picture of us going over the Louisiana state line, and when we got to Louisiana, he said, Dad, what are we going to eat? And this whole trip, I wanted him to see and meet and understand what his dad does, okay? And the first place we're going to go is a young family that lived in Louisiana, Alexandria, Louisiana. Matter of fact, Leesville. And we went there, and there's a young family of 4 children. They're probably at the time the parents probably about 34, 35 years old. My son, I remember him saying, Dad, what are we going to eat? And I said, squirrel. and he wasn't too excited about that. But we pulled up there. They had pet guineas. They had 2 geese that kept aerial predators away. They had chickens that they fed off of. They lived off the land. You walk into their house. The house had no carpet. But one thing about that home is they had love. And I wanted my son to understand, and this whole trip I went from Louisiana to Mississippi, Alabama, down to up to Nashville, back over to Oklahoma. And all these places, we stayed at different people's homes from the affluent to the poor and all in between. He got to experience what it means to be part of grassroots, to build something, not just to walk into something and say, ooh, it's easy to see something when it's already there. And as we on this trip, and I got all this stuff that's really cool to see. And I took these pictures every time we crossed the state line. But it's pretty cool to be a father and do this with your son. And everybody, and the thing is about getting around the networkers, the people who decide to do something. My sons and my children are raised around can-do people, not can't-do people. And he starts to understand what it means to serve people versus then take from people. So we came back to my house. I had a meeting at my home the night we got back. About 45, 50 people came to my home. And I asked my son, I said, son, would you mind sharing your experience? And he got up front. It was amazing, guys. It was amazing. It was amazing. My son understood that it had nothing to do with money and nothing to do with people's stature, but he understood in this business we serve people. People are where they are because they choose to be. In this industry, if you choose to be more, you can become more. Sylvia said it best. It's difficult, but guys, I'm telling you, anything in life that's worth having is going to be difficult. And so he shared this, what he was able to experience. And I want to share this with you from me. I did fairly well in the technology industry, in the software industry, but there's no way possible, no way, if, ands, or buts, would I have been able to, on the next day, take my son on a business trip. First, I wouldn't want to get him around people. There's no way I'd been able to do that and take him on the trip like this so he can start to understand with what he does, with what his dad does. Now, here's a big thing. We are at the very beginning of something absolutely massive. I was in the BNI meeting this morning, and they asked me to say my 1-minute deal, and I wasn't prepared, and somebody asked me to sit in for them. I said, okay. And I stood and I said, let me ask you all something. Have you ever heard of redox signaling molecules? And I said, it's kind of hard for me to explain this in a minute. Because most of you, as you even see this stuff, you kind of walk away, or you think you understand what you're about, what you had your hands on. One thing I said to them, I said, how many of y'all have heard of redox signaling molecules? Now, there are 40 people, nobody heard of it. That's always pretty common. And I said, well, if you went to PubMed.gov, and you'd find over 13,000 studies basically stating that this is the greatest health and science breakthrough of our lifetime. And I said, what I see is it's the only supplement on the planet. The biggest deal about this, we spend too much time trying to prove this to people or build a bridge here versus saying it is what it is. I'm extremely, extremely excited for me and my family to be associated with a company that gives back to us, that teaches us how to struggle, but also to learn from them, but also to turn around and give it back to our families. I'm extremely proud to be able to be in the forefront in the beginning, to be able to lay the groundwork for the future and to see where this is going. Justin, I want to thank you, and I really appreciate for who you are, what you stand for, and especially with your background. Just thanks for having me be a part of this call tonight.
Hey, Terry, appreciate you being on with us. It's been a great call. Thank you for your story. Guys, I have to tell you, I've been truly inspired as I've listened to our guest speakers tonight. I love this industry. There is nothing like network marketing that can meet you wherever you are today and can take you where you want to go. It's a wonderful, wonderful industry, as you heard tonight. People whose lives have been changed, who have been able to change the lives of others. And it really is, there's no other way or no other industry that allows you to do this in this way. It's been a wonderful thing for me as I've grown up and I've watched it happen in my own life, as I've seen it affect the lives of my children as well. It's really an opportunity that is unlike any other. And with ASEA, you have products that make an impact, that are different, that can really do something and make a difference for someone else. You have a great company to be a part of, with great people like Terry and Sylvie and John that have joined us tonight. So we hope that you'll take the time to really find out what this is for yourself. We'd ask you to get with whoever invited you on the call this evening, get your questions answered, and see how ASEA can make a difference in your life as well. I want to give one more word of thanks to Terry and to Sylvie and to John for sharing their wonderful stories with us tonight. It's been a wonderful call, and we want to thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time. Take care, guys.